afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Quarantine Connect 2020. Today, I have invited a great friend of mine who's a marketing expert and has been into marketing business all his life. His name is Abdullah, and he's going to share with us a lot of tips related to branding and marketing today. Hi, Joy. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you, Nousheen. Pleasure to be here. I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's Ramadan and time is tight, so we are going to be quick and we will discuss all our things fast. My first question from you is that how can a brand create a unique customer experience during COVID-19 period? I know that people are not buying quickly, and when they buy something, there is a different decision behind it. They're looking at more than just the purchase. So how can we change? How can we create a unique experience for them? How can we make them feel that they are valued? What are the ways, as a marketing expert, that you recommend to help in enhancing customer experience?
I think the first stage is to recognize what your customers are going through. So there are 2-3 stages in this entire pandemic that we've all gone through. One is a stage of worry, denial, kind of like, no, I should go out. Why am I having to stay at home? That's the denial part. And then, oh, now I'm stay at home. I'm locked down. I cannot go. And then finally, you come to the fourth one where you arrive at a point as a customer. You say, okay, I've got so much of time. Let me do something. So first point from a brand perspective is recognize what your customer is going through. Okay. Don't communicate something. Don't try and give a experience or a feeling that doesn't quite jive or resonate with reality. So that's number one. Number two is please be human, which means in the communication that the brand is sending out, at least communicate what you understand of the situation. So you communicate with a little bit of heart. Say, look, we understand it's tough, but here's the positive in doing this. So we as a brand and as a business, we are doing ABC. Maybe some sort of positive community work, maybe some sort of stories or support to the employees of the brand. Share that out. The intent is come from being human, being warm to say, we understand this is a trying time for all of us, but your brand, i.e. me, I'm here. Let me know how I can help you. That's my tip number one. Be human in your communication. The experience will come later because right at the moment, we have segments of customers globally. They are in various stages. So be relevant, be human to understand and appreciate what you are going through as a customer. That creates a binding between the customer and the brand.
I feel empathy is the most in demand at the moment. We all need to understand, like you said, the emotions of people who are coming to us looking for solutions and for services. So when we are looking at emotions and trying to be empathetic, do you feel that it's important for us to add value to customer experience through sharing stories that are from the past or stories that are recent? Because there is a difference. In the past, things and the practices were easy, let me say. But now the emotions of uncertainty are more strong than they ever were.
Sure.
So things that were emotively working before are perhaps not applicable now. So what do you believe should be done?
Sure. The first thing is that the emotions that were working in the past, I wouldn't quite say that they won't work now. They've gone into the background. And let me take a step back. So when you're creating the stories for the brand, one of the key pillars to use is values. What are the core values of the brand and what are the common core values with your customer? So you have to have a match and you have to know which value resonates. Then based on that value, the messages that you were communicating earlier, you've again got to weigh it and see, is this relevant? This storyline, which used to create this emotional appeal, now that people are all, yes, we are in this pandemic, we are all worried, but people are gradually moving out of that worrying to looking forward to saying, what next? Where will I go? So look at the value, look at the emotion attached with the value, or the emotion, the reaction that you want from the customer, then look at its relevancy, and then use it today. So if what was in the past, the trigger that was being used in the past is not relevant or does not connect, put it away. Look at which value, which emotion is relevant, use that as your story.
True, true. Coming to the point where we have multiple strategies at the moment, working for different brands. In this 1 month period, when you were helping different brands with their marketing strategies, what was one strategy that worked the most for a larger number of brands, and how did you find that out?
Okay. First thing is that 3 out of 4 of my clients have actually parked their strategy that was in play, that was being used all the way up until March. That strategy has literally got parked, and all 3 out of the 4 we've had to pivot, because we've had to take their entire set of businesses fully 100% online. All right. So the first thing about strategy was that while we were using that strategy, one of the things the companies did not take is business continuity and risk evaluation. Now all 3 clients are looking very heavily into that risk evaluation and business continuity. So the main thing that my company and I did for these 3 clients is that to look and see which specific areas can the brands immediately start using. So they had social media communication and they had website. The first thing that happened, the key thing that happened, is the content on the website changed. The messaging content on social media changed. In place of being on 5-6 social media, we went narrow and we went deep. Each client we identified 2 key social media channels for them, identified key content that is required, and went in so that the customer engagement still continues. And luckily, now after having done it for 6 weeks, the engagement is slowly starting to climb back up. Right? That's the
which social media channels did they narrow down to? Which one?
No, depending on their work. So one of the clients has LinkedIn and Twitter. Another client has LinkedIn and Instagram. Another client has Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp separately. So
yeah, in UAE, it's mostly Instagram and Facebook ads that are working very well. And correct. For personal branding, it's LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's again from region to region, it will vary, because like in UAE, a lot of the media is not allowed. It's, you cannot do WhatsApp videos and you cannot do WhatsApp calls and stuff like that. So depending on regional regulatory and what works. So for example, out in Hong Kong, Taiwan, that region over here, WeChat works much better than WhatsApp. All right. Okay. TikTok in Thailand works like nobody's business. It's better than even Facebook.
Yeah, TikTok is booming here as well, especially when it comes to some fun stuff. It's on TikTok.
Correct. Even so for each media has its strength. What is critical is to know what is the customer on. It's not which is the fad of the day that the brand should be on. It's actually what medias is the customer using. So if 80% of your customers are using A and B, the brand better be in A and B, and then customize your content going out in that.
True. So it's actually according to the visibility of your content and the amount of audience that you will find. Coming to collaborations and partnerships, I got so many calls for collaborations and partnerships during COVID-19, this last 1 month. Yep. And I realized that this is the hot thing. Everybody wants to collaborate on something. So I want to ask you, how does it go there? Like, how have these collaborations and partnerships, if you made any, during COVID-19 have helped you as a business owner? Do you think it's a good support?
Of course, it depends on the terms and conditions and how people want to work. For example, at 3-Minute Marketing, my partner and I work with various associates as associates. So we call in people we know, we've done work with, or we are aware of. When we have our contract, we have a project coming in, we call in, we introduce the client, our client, with the associate, and we move away. We let the client identify and agree if they want the services. We still maintain our supervisory and advisory capacity going in and working with them. Otherwise, if the client then directly says that, no, you take the order from the associate and charge it to me. Then the associate and I, we sit down, we work out our terms, and we work together. So that's one level of working. The other level is there's a lot of social collaborations. So you work socially for benefit to both brands. There's no money which is exchanged, but it's more of exposure and visibility. A lot of it happens. I mean, yeah, I've just finished 2 books in collaboration, social collaborations that way. From there, I do a lot of talks right now which are free, under 3-minute marketing. In fact, our webinar is going out on 30th. You'll find the post shortly after this. Towards iftar your time, the post will also be out. But collaborations is a great way to go forward. I personally always recommend to brands to collaborate, and it's not always financial collaborations. Like I said, look at the social collaboration which has a win-win, because that's an investment. When you do that social collaboration, you will get a benefit coming back if the content and the output is relevant and good for your target audience.
True. Coming to digital marketing space, what I observed was that as soon as we all got to know everybody's working from home and people will be buying less, a lot of companies withdrew their campaigns related to digital marketing. And on the other hand, many brands launched new campaigns with new objectives to meet with the needs of the time. So what do you recommend for all those, let's say, small business owners who have withdrawn their digital marketing campaigns? Do you think it's a great idea?
It's a great idea.
Which is budget effective for them?
First thing first, for small business owners, specifically for small business owners, it's a great idea. They've withdrawn their $5,000 on LinkedIn and Facebook and everything, because money, cash flow is key. Second thing, for small business owners, please have the patience to go into organic marketing. The reason many small business owners actually fail or their marketing campaign suffers, and I work with small business owners, and I've just turned one around that I'm using as a case study during this COVID period. Please give it time for organic marketing to work. And even if you're using 1 or 2 of your employees to talk out on social media, it takes time. You have to give it at least 6 to 8 months for some form of trust to establish between the spokesperson of the brand and your customer. Number 1. Number 2, please make sure your content is not your perspective. It shouldn't be about the brand, the price and everything. It has to be the customer's perspective. You have to find out what is the need, what is the problem of the customer that your brand is solving. Communicate that. Last and the third most important, it's not because you love Facebook or you love LinkedIn. It has to be where your customer is at. So data is going to be critical, and to find this data, use a telephone call. Talk to your customers. Find out where do they spend the most of time. And last, the fourth, this is a trade secret I'm giving away, and Nousheen, you can use it also. Please try and find out the time, the relaxed time the customer spends on the social media, because that is the time your content needs to be out. And how to do it out, if you need help, reach out to Nousheen, who can reach out to me. There are many ways to do it, automate it and put it on time. But why is this? It's like this. All of us, Nousheen just said, she's got 6 meetings today. She's a busy mother. She's a busy executive. She's with her phone. She's looking through social media. But I can tell you, nothing is registering in her head when she's looking through. She's just looking through because it's a default behavior.
Yeah.
But at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, after Tarawih or whatever, after the day's chores are over, she will have an hour, 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours to just sit down and do her thing on her social media channels. And I'm now looking at Nousheen as a customer. That's the time when the brand that wants to catch her attention needs to be out at 9:30 p.m., at 10:30 p.m. UAE time. Because if the message comes at that time, when she is relaxed, she's thinking about her content and her post, chances are she's going to say, hey, I needed this. Hang on, what's this? Click, boom, you got engagement. Fifth and last point from that content, try and keep your clicks to the bare minimum of 2, max 3. 1 click on your social media, go to website. 1 click on your website to add to cart. 1 click for payment. That's it. Anything more than this, Your customer will immediately leave, close everything off, say, actually hate you because you took him or her away from your social media feed, and go back.
Exactly.
That's
You
it.
know, Joy, we had a client from education industry, and we covered his e-commerce project. So he forced us to create a full page of form with 36 slots to fill for the customer. And we kept on telling him that if a customer has to fill 36 slots, he's going to go away and the purchase will not happen. You have to give him 2, maximum 3 slots to fill and move on to the cart. So it's very important for every business owner to
Absolutely.
understand that customer is going to get exhausted by filling up information in the forms. If they are buying, we know that this is the time for e-commerce boom. Everybody is online, everybody is selling online. So it has to be quick, easy, two-step, and finish.
Absolutely. The point I'd like to add here, this has nothing to do with it. It applies to small business owners, medium
Yes.
entrepreneurs, large entrepreneurs, large companies, national and otherwise regional, and international multinational companies. I'm across board. Please think like your customer. Please, you as a marketing head, content head, social head, whatever role you are, step out of that role, take off that hat for a minute, and put yourself as the customer and say, how would I like? So if I'm in an educational institution and I'm interacting, after I have received my information, would I really want to give everything up, fill in a form of 35 fields, or would I like to, talk to somebody? You might find a different way. You might find getting a chat bot into play, getting an AI bot into play. There's different ways, but please, the golden rule, think like the customer.
Exactly.
It's the customer's a human. If you start putting your perspective in there, you're just killing your own marketing. The agency, the team cannot do anything on it. Nothing.
It's true. What about video ads? A lot of people are making video ads, and not everybody is successful in making a good ad. So, as a digital marketing expert, what do you recommend? What should a video ad be like? How will it help in conversion?
Okay.
Quick,
First and
quick
foremost,
tips.
Nousheen, first and foremost, I'm not a digital marketing expert. I'm a marketing specialist. I don't
Okay.
quite like the word expert, but that's one. Second is video uh, exists because it adds sight and sound. So for again, the parameters of good and bad are, it's our parameters. Everything, what is bad for somebody is good for somebody else. That's how I look at it. Okay. Now there are few techniques and how things go viral. And I'll go back to that same thing again, which is if you know the pulse, if you really have the insight of your target segment of your customer really well, and you're able to create a strong emotional resonance, a strong emotional connect. Think back and recall some of the brands, some of the video ads, ad clips that you can think of, and you'll find there's something that has touched your heart, something very small. It might not have led you to buy, it might be a patriotic song, something of the sort, but things go viral when it touches the heart. So for good video ad or for any form of communication, okay, I'm a bit particular because advertising has also become a dirty word, saying it's paid and gets into people's faces and all. Any communication, as long as it's comes from resonating with what the customer, the person it's meant for, is there, that communication will be good. Having said that, don't do one video ad of 30 seconds or whatever 3-minute video and expect one release of that to bring you magic. Nothing will happen. You keep consistency is key. It's not that same video. The brand has to bring out multiple videos. So if it's employees in a business, take your own self videos, put it into InShot or some small app, put some subtitles, put it out. It could be 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, anything. I mean, you've got, maybe you're using video challenges for your brand. So you've got, value in 30, you've got 30 days of video, whatever challenge that you want to use in whichever social media, but you're using video for a reason. So be very clear when you're using a particular medium and a particular channel. So for example, if you use video on Twitter, that's nuts, because Twitter is more of a 280, 250 character text story, ultra micro story platform. Okay. But then if you take 200 characters and go to TikTok, the reverse happens. TikTok's a video. It's meant for a raw live video. Okay. So use your channel strength, use the content carefully, the channel, the medium very, very carefully. And this is where, again, I go back. What does your customer want and see? Do you know if your customer is more of a video person? If you have an Instagram, TikTok kind of social media preference, then you know your customer's a video person. Give them video, but give them good video, which means they entertain, they're genuine or authentic, and they're relevant, period. That's out of my EAR model, EAR,
Great.
entertain, authentic, relevant.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Pleasure having you today with me. Yes, I learned a lot and it was amazing interaction.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, Nousheen. Thank you so much.